#1 in Southern California. Channel 7, KABC TV, Los Angeles. Now, the Southland's leading news, Eyewitness News, at 5.
Italian film director Sergio Leone died of a heart attack in Rome today at the age of 60. The filmmaker is best known for the so-called spaghetti westerns that he pioneered during the 1960s. Leone directed A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Those 3 films helped propel the career of actor Clint Eastwood. In 1983, Leone directed Robert De Niro in the critically acclaimed Once Upon a Time in America. The Italian filmmaker had been planning to fly to the U.S. tomorrow to sign a new production deal.
Well, the father of the so-called spaghetti western is dead. According to sources in Italy, Sergio Leone died at his home today. He was 60 years old. Leone directed such brooding pictures as The Good, Bad, and the Ugly and A Fistful of Dollars. Although Leone made a wide variety of pictures in his 40-year career, he is best known for the Italian-made westerns that were popular in the 60s. The much-copied formula featured monosyllabic gunslingers who were awfully attractive on a sun-scorched landscape. Leone is also credited with launching the career of star Clint Eastwood.
From KTTV Los Angeles, this is Fox News.
Sad story from the world of film, which is mourning the passing of Italian director Sergio Leone. Leone was one of the most famous European film directors ever to make it big in the U.S. market. Leone was the guiding force behind those spaghetti westerns of the 60s, which made actor Clint Eastwood an international star. Leone suffered a fatal heart attack this morning while at home with his wife. He had been preparing to come to the United States on Monday to sign another movie deal. Services will be held Wednesday in Rome.
Now, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles, Channel 5 News at 10. Larry McCormick, Minerva Perez, Ed Arnold with sports, and the entire award-winning Channel 5 News team.
Critically acclaimed director Sergio Leone died today of a heart attack. He was 60. Leone was best known for his stark and moody westerns made in Italy during the 1960s. His widely imitated films spawned the so-called spaghetti western genre. The first film, A Fistful of Dollars, was a box office smash. Leone is credited with paying careful attention to historical detail and giving his films a sense of realism. His dream project was the 1983 film Once Upon a Time in America. Leone is survived by his wife and 3 children. Funeral services are scheduled for Wednesday.
Bill Lagatuta, June Thompson, Christopher Nance, weather, and Fred Rogan, Sunday Night Sports. Channel 4 News, Nightside, #1 in Southern California.
In other news tonight, the film director who boosted Clint Eastwood to international stardom in those spaghetti westerns is dead. 60-year-old Sergio Leone died of an apparent heart attack this morning at his home in Rome. In addition to directing Eastwood in classics like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Leone also made the 1983 gangster saga Once Upon a Time in America, featuring Robert De Niro.
You're watching KABC TV, Los Angeles. Moving to the rhythm of the city, to the beat of the streets. News, weather, and sports for a city that plays hard, works hard, and moves fast. Harold Green, Joanna Shimina, Fred Anderson, and Jim Hill. And now, Eyewitness News Tonight.
The director who helped launch actor Clint Eastwood's career is being remembered throughout the film community tonight. Sergio Leone died of a heart attack at his home in Rome today at the age of 60. The Italian filmmaker directed Eastwood in a series of so-called spaghetti westerns in the 1960s. They included A Fistful of Dollars and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. In 1983, actor Robert De Niro starred in Leone's critically acclaimed Once Upon a Time in America. Sergio Leone had been planning to fly to the United States tomorrow for work on his latest film.
Carla Aragon, Ken Sharknick, Fred Rogan, sports. This is Today in L.A.
Sergio Leone, the man who directed Clint Eastwood to international fame in the so-called spaghetti westerns, has died of a heart attack. He was 60 years old. Although best known for those Italian westerns featuring Eastwood as the silent gunslinger, he also worked on such films as Ben-Hur and Once Upon a Time in America. Leone was putting the finishing touches on a new movie in Rome when he was killed. Italy's president says the world has lost one of its most admired directors.
Italian director Sergio Leone died yesterday of a heart attack at his home in Italy. He was 60 years old. Leone single-handedly created the genre of the film known as the spaghetti western and launched Clint Eastwood to international stardom in films such as The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars, and For a Few Dollars More. He once said the attraction of the western was making justice without asking permission.
Italian film director Sergio Leone died this weekend in Rome. He was 60. Leone was famous for the spaghetti western, and as Leonard Maltin shows us, that was just one milestone in a remarkable career. Leonard.
Well, John, at the time Sergio Leone made A Fistful of Dollars in 1964, he'd already spent some 15 years in the Italian film industry, mostly as an assistant director. He learned the ropes on such Italian classics as The Bicycle Thief and such American films on location as Quo Vadis and Ben-Hur. But when he finally got the chance to direct movies himself, he developed a style all his own.
No one who saw these movies in the late 60s will ever forget them, I dare say, or the impact of seeing young Clint Eastwood as the stubbled, stogie-smoking man with no name. Eastwood had been a TV series regular in America, but this made him a superstar around the world. The Leone westerns were like no others we'd seen before. Ironic, enigmatic, extremely violent, with a hero who didn't fit the conventional cowboy mold.
This is all very, very touching.
You mean you don't admire peace?
It's not really easy to like something you know nothing about.
It's like playing cowboys and Indians.
There was humor, too, most of it sly and tongue-in-cheek. But the thing that really set Sergio Leone's films apart was their size. Everything about them was big, larger than life. Some people said operatic, including the music by Ennio Morricone. After making 3 westerns with Eastwood, Leone embarked upon his masterpiece, Once Upon a Time in the West, which helped make a star of Charles Bronson and pitted him against an unlikely bad guy, Henry Fonda, in a memorable shootout filmed as only Leone would have dared. Leone's films were dismissed by many critics and often attacked for their extreme length and overbaked emotions. But they developed a huge audience around the world and a fervent following among film buffs, all of which led an American company to back the director's ambitious gangster saga, Once Upon a Time in America, starring Robert De Niro and James Woods. Leone brought his usual epic eye to this sprawling story, and the results, at 4 hours, caused him considerable controversy and an aborted release in this country. But Leone was not easily discouraged, and as film lovers everywhere will confirm, his individual approach to movie making has earned him a permanent place in movie history.
Sergio Leone was not so very different from his films. He was a big man with big appetites. At the time of his death, he was working on another sprawling epic about the storming of Leningrad. It's too bad he didn't live to make that one.
The man who made Clint Eastwood's day is gone, and a man who's gone is still talking. I'm Terry Ellie, and these are today's Hollywood headlines. Italian director Sergio Leone died of a heart attack on Sunday at the age of 60. He's the man credited with forming the genre of the spaghetti western in the 60s and for making Clint Eastwood an international star. Leone made A Fistful of Dollars while people were telling him the western was dead. Of course, it was a huge smash, and he followed it up with For a Few Dollars More and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Later on in his career, he turned his attention to films about American gangsters and made Once Upon a Time in the West and Once Upon a Time in America with James Woods and Robert De Niro. He will be missed.
In sadder cinematic news, Sergio Leone, the Italian director who reinvented American cowboy movies in the mid-60s, died at his home in Rome last Sunday at the age of 60. For movie lovers around the world, it was a major loss. The son of a silent movie director, Sergio Leone scored an international smash in 1964 with his first feature, A Fistful of Dollars. This movie instantly created a new film genre, the spaghetti western, and launched its star, an obscure American TV actor named Clint Eastwood, as a world-class anti-hero, the man with no name.
Every gun makes its own tune.
After two increasingly successful sequels, 1965's For a Few Dollars More and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly in 1966, Eastwood moved on to bigger things, and so did Leone. He refined his operatically elaborate visual sense and stretched out his already deliberate pacing in the 1969 classic Once Upon a Time in the West, a film that starred Henry Fonda in one of his few true bad guy roles. But Leone's most ambitious work was the 1984 Once Upon a Time in America, a dreamy reinvention of the American gangster flick genre that ran nearly 4 hours and established Leone as a unique master of the movie medium, one who will surely be missed.
Get it, fellas, you're too late.